Hello everyone. This is a video that I didn't think I'd ever make. I didn't think I'd feel like I had to make. That nobody saw coming, that nobody expected to happen. And it's possibly the darkest moment in our club's history. This will be raw, this will be uncut, unedited almost, apart from the visuals. And this is me just talking about my experience. You can hear from there's thousands of websites with Sky Sports, BBC, Leicester Mercury, all of them telling you about the objective truth, what happened, when. But I thought I'd dive into my relationship with the club, with the man. This is going to be a tough one for me, for the city. But I'll start you off with what happened yesterday. Sorry, Saturday. So we were leaving. So I met the 100% team for pizza at Peter's Pizza in Leicester. Talking about the match. Had a bit of a knot in my stomach because I didn't feel great from that morning. Part of it because Vardy was dropped, but there was just something not right. And I know in hindsight, 2020, people go, "Oh well, you saw it happening," but I felt weird. I think mostly because of Vardy being dropped. There was something off. So we found out the lineup. We walked down to the game, and we could take our seats in the stadium. I was sitting in SK1. For those of you who know, that's the E block, so closest to the E car park. So I watched the match. Freezing, by the way. It was not freezing, but it was about 5 degrees. And not a bad game. Don't want to talk about the game too much. So we did a bit of recording before when the lineups came out, and we did one brief. Sorry, I'm getting choked up a little bit. We did another podcast. We did another video right after the game for 5 minutes because we were all absolutely frozen. You can see that. I'll put it in the link below. The one before, the one after. And what's shocking to me is that we were right there. And you can see an ambulance going off in the back from another incident. And a player had broke his ankle and horrible to play. And unfortunately, it's been pushed aside because of this incident. So we went out 5-6 minutes talking about football over the camera. Went home. Well, everybody was going to go home. I was going to meet somebody for a curry afterwards. And once we were in the curry house, talking away as usual, and some of the comments of we have 100% group chat started going off about this helicopter falling from the sky. Not falling from the sky, coming from the helicopter crashing. And ever since 2010, since they bought the club, they'd always done it. So it was just absolutely normal to see helicopter come in, helicopter land, blah, blah, blah. And it crashed. And there was the biggest knot in my gut and in my throat I've potentially ever witnessed. It genuinely was. And I got a call shortly from my mum telling me, "Are you okay? Is everything fine?" I said, "Yeah, we're just in the curry house. We're enjoying ourselves. I'll be back home shortly." She goes, "Good." And then I was for the next few, and after that, we all discussed, because we didn't know, there was no confirmation about what happened. We just know that the helicopter crashed, and when it crashed, it exploded into flames. And the whole city, there's something I can't describe to you. We were there. You felt the energy in the air just dampen, and it was sorrow. It was somber. It was down. It was depressed almost, not depressed as in mental illness, but just pressed down, lowered. And now you're seeing images, and you're getting, hopefully you can feel what I'm feeling at the moment. And I'm trying to keep this together, because not one that cries mostly anyway, but this has hit me hard. This has hit me really hard. And this is the moments I want to capture on the podcast, you know? I could look back and go, I remember that day. I remember what I was feeling. I remember what I was thinking. So I go to bed about 11 o'clock after talk, and a couple of them times, if you go to follow 100% LCFC, I'll post the links below, and you'll be able to see them as well. Woke up in the morning, checked, and there wasn't anything. There wasn't any new information. Then about 9 o'clock, the information came out that it looks like that Vichai has passed away. And not just him, potentially, I think it's still all up in the air, but because they've got to do an autopsy, got to find the bodies, but we're pretty sure that it was him, his wife, and if his daughter, and the 2 pilots. So in the morning, I just had to go down to the ground. I just felt like I had to. So I wrapped up, put my scarf on, and picked which scarf I had. So I had my LCFC champions scarf, which I wore, which I took down. I didn't want to write a card, didn't want to bring flowers, but that's my memory to give over there. And if you look at the photos, both at the moment and online, the fans have come out in there, thousands, but the hundreds to the stadium. And I went down to the ground. It was cold. It was very windy. 5 degrees, horrible winds. And I saw a city that was mourning. And it's amazing how something like this can bring people together. So there was not just Leicester City fans that were there. We saw Sheffield Wednesday shirts, Liverpool shirts, Man City shirt was there. Somebody from the OH Leuven ground was there. There was flags and memories from years ago that people had brought, and people with flowers, and I just bought a scarf because I felt like that's my memory towards this situation. And it was beautiful to see everybody there, from all cultures, from Asian, African, Middle Eastern, all there to pay our respects to what a man. And I'll get onto that later. What are you? Everybody's wondering, why is he so popular? It's not just a man that's died. It's what he did. And I'll come on to that and my perspective. Because there'll be articles out. There will be articles about what he did and objectively. And I want to show you from my perspective, from a fan's perspective, what he meant to us. And what he did for us as a club, as a city. As not just a club, and not just a business. He was a man of the city. And he wanted to be. And he wanted to improve this place. And he'll be forever in our hearts. Anyway, back to the ground. It was just seeing everybody there. So people that lived around the corner would come out. As in children of making... There was a very somber atmosphere. Very like... As you can imagine, it's mourning. As in mourning somebody that's passed away. And there was a camera crews there, and they were all over it like flies, you know. The goods, food, they were just, and it felt wrong. It felt wrong that they were there. It really did, because it wasn't that they cared about the fans. It wasn't they cared about the city. They were there to do a job, and it was just bad manners. But I get it. They had a job to do. And it was just, I remember there was a a reporter that was there, and she was there doing her spiel, X, Y, and Z, objectiveness. And then she said, "Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you want me to do it again?" Where it was very almost ruining the mood, and you can tell Leicester fans were just trying to ignore it and just trying to focus on what we need to focus on. So I was there, waiting at the side, and just seeing all these images and flowers and shirts, and memories and candles, and there was a picture of Ganesh, which is like a Hindu god, and Buddha been put out there, and memories from the Championship, from League One, from the Champions League, from Premier League, just unbelievable memories that without this man we would have never have achieved. I'll come on to that a bit later, but just yeah, one of the memories I had, which I've noted down, was there was a load of children that just come from playing football in their Sunday leagues, like less than 11, come with they're dressed in their kit still, with their studs on, and they're just walking up, putting down the flowers. It was really powerful, and there was I can't describe it. The atmosphere was amazing because, and I got there slightly later than the video. I'll try and link to that as well. The one that Lee Chappie did at the ground early in the morning. But there was I couldn't count how many memories there were, and people coming in and out, and I just wanted to stand there and be in that presence. So I stood off to the side along the railings and just wanted to sit, just wanted to be in that moment, and I was. That's enough of my perspective. I'll give you a little bit of a rundown. So Vichai bought this club in 2010, and you'll get this spiel, but what it is that when a new owner comes in, and our previous owner left, a lot of places won't tell you this because of tax fraud. He left because of so we had to sell the club. So we sold the club on to this Vichai, and there's always a foreign owner that's promising millions of riches, Premier League football, and I've been there, seeing it, done that. I've seen this team before go down to League One, Championship, just be a generic team. And I didn't think anything of it, to be perfectly honest with you. I was like, what are we going to do? Yeah, thank you for the support, I appreciate it, but it means nothing. Not means nothing, but I've seen it, and they're just the pessimist, and just seeing football over and over again, just clubs falling almost because of this new owner, because of a new owner, and clubs plummeting down the leagues, and clubs just becoming just shells of their former clubs, of their former victories. And I thought this was going to happen. And Mandaric was a crap manager. The owner who was an owner before. But he started introducing things into the club that meant so much, that made me pay attention, that made me go, oh, hang on, he's not in this for the short run. He's not in this because he wants to make money out of the business. He really wants to help the fans. So one of the things he did, and he really wants to help us as a community, as a city, as fans. So one of the things he did is one of the best things he ever did, which I hope will continue, is he brought in the clappers. So what these are, very simply, they're corrugated. Sorry, just getting overwhelmed slightly. Corrugated cardboard, and if you open it up, you will see there's a message, a bit about the game, the time, the date, sometimes a quote from the player saying we need your backing and thank you for the support. And everybody was given them in the ground, all the home fans. And it was a really good way of everybody to get involved. So obviously when you're my age, 25, you want to get involved. You want to shout. You want to scream. You want to shout your team on and do everything you can with your voice. But these clappers were amazing. So everybody was using them. People still did, and they were a lovely memory. I've got so many up in my attic at the moment. But one of the things that I heard on Radio Leicester, why fans loved them, it was for the elderly fans that have been coming for since 50, 60 years, some of them. And they've all want to get involved, but they don't want to be undignified and scream and shout. But the chance with the clappers was a brilliant way of getting them involved. And they were free. All of them were free. Every time we go to the match, it would be free. And it was bloody brilliant idea. I've seen them before individually, but not a whole stadium. Not a whole stadium. And there was little things like when it came to Remembrance Day or Remembrance Weekend, everybody would hold theirs out, and there'd be a colour, and it'd all been beautifully schemed, so that it would be like a poppy or something. It was amazing. And even recently, before obviously this tragedy happened, they announced that we're playing Cardiff in a couple of weeks. That there'll be a free breakfast at the King Power Stadium for all travelling fans and a free scarf. Who does that? Who does that? Who does that for their fans? Not because of a business decision. Surely it would be brilliant, but it's not because of that. It's because he cared about the club, about the fans, about the city. And it was unbelievable. Unbelievable what he did. And this is right up to this day. And let's hope it can continue. And whatever happens next, we just got to be thankful of what we had. There was that when it was his birthday. What do you think he did? Do you think he had a big luxury thing? No. He had mince pies. He had cakes. He had free beer. All of these things were free. You just turned up and you got it. And there was no like one per person or whatever. You took whatever you wanted. So basically, you go up, you get one, and you leave, and you go into the stadium. And there was he was so grateful and so humble as a man. And I remember going to Watford. A couple of moments of going to a Man City game, Man United. Sorry, God, I'm all over the place at the moment. But I just need to get this out there. I need to feel like I've put my bit into the universe and I've done my thoughts and my opinions. At Man United, we're all given little Santa hats. All of us. Everybody. Little blue Santa hats. It was a sea of blue bubble hats. And it was beautiful. And he didn't need to. He didn't need to. But he did it because he wanted to. And he cared about the fans. And I'm going to nail in these points again and again and again and again and again. But I don't care. Because it doesn't matter how many times I say it. You can't replicate the feeling of this man and what he did for us. We went to Watford, and we all got there was jester hats and tall top hat kind of things, like the Cat in the Hat kind of thing from Dr. Seuss. We all got given them, which you'll see on screen. I was wearing one. They give for free. They appreciate all of us. And the Champions League was a brilliant example. There was a huge buzz around the city. And this was the quarterfinals against Atletico Madrid. Huge game. And I'll try and release that video if I can. If I know how to. I'll stick it at the end of this video. And you'll hear me scream and shout. So, please pay attention. Please go to the end and you'll see the fireworks, the fires, the Champions League anthem, the smoke. They went the extra mile every time for us. And it just... His death means we are mourning. Leicester, we're really mourning. It's sad. It's really sad. And people of all ages have come out, and all clubs have come together. And football is beyond the game. Forget about all the post-match commentary and all we did and the lines, because we didn't think anything's going to happen. And I've been speaking to people that are much older than me, that have been remembering the club from the 60s, the 70s, and they say this is the darkest moment in the club's history. So sad. But I wanted to get a couple of things right. I can't pronounce his second name. I'm really sorry. But he was given this name by, I think, the Thai Prime Minister. And the name of it begins with S. I can't pronounce it. I'm just going to absolutely mess it up. But it is the light of the progressive glory, which I think is beautiful. I think a really beautiful name to give this man, way before he even came to the club. And there's certain things that I remember. There's so many crap owners, so many that could flip the club and put it in the worst direction. And we've come up from League One, Championship, to Premier League, to winning the Premier League. And it's down to this man as well, for the right decisions at the right time. And they were hard. They were hard decisions. Sacking Ranieri was a hard decision. One of, again, even Leicester fans go, oh, that was a hard day. This is much harder. Sacking Pearson, bringing in Ranieri, where again, I didn't know. But I trusted. I just had to trust. And the rest is history. But a couple of words that I'd like to remember him by. A couple of things. His actions always spoke louder than his words. He wasn't a talkative man, but he always put his money up into the club. He put his heart into the club. Little things like, when we won the league, he gave £2 million to the Leicester Royal Infirmary. He didn't need to do that, but he did it because he wanted to. He knew how much that would help the fans and the owners and the team, and the amount of respect he got for this from this city was unbelievable. And they're the best owner. I've said this when we saw all the things happening with Newcastle, and I was just grateful for the owners we have and what they did for us. He was extremely rich. And the thing is, the way rich people are portrayed in the media, he's big, showy-offy, busy all the time. But he still attended all the matches. And he still made sure that he was... He still made sure the fans were looked after. And he was so humble as a man. He had his King Power Instagram, and I remember after Claudio Ranieri was sacked, he goes, it was a hard decision, and he was closing the Instagram down. But I want to say thank you, Vichai, for what you've done for me, for making me believe in things that I'd never thought as a Leicester fan that I'd ever believe in, that would happen. And I've travelled around the world, and I've spoke to people that have known about Leicester, and I say I can't believe it. And the legacy you'll leave behind is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And what you've done for this city, for this club, for this family, for this community, you've brought us all together. And I cannot thank this man enough for what amazing work he has done. And he cared for everyone around him. And there's so many stories, you can look them up, about how much he donated out of the kindness of his heart, and he realised how much the community and the family mattered to this city. And we loved him too. And it's kind of like the King of Leicester has died. That's what it feels like. The King of Leicester has died. And there will be mourning for many days, many nights, and this day will be remembered. The Saturday will be remembered. And keep the light shining, everybody. But most importantly, just slightly finishing up here, there's so much more I want to talk about, but I wanted to keep... I'm sorry how terrible this has been as well, but I just needed to get this out there. One of the things that he did for me is he made me believe in miracles, which you kind of, I don't know if I didn't before, but he solidified it. And Leicester winning the league was partly down to him and his backing and his ownership and his business, which he guided them to success. He really did, and invested in the right players. And maybe things didn't go smoothly, and Leicester's always going to be a club where it's good, it's bad, it's up, it's down. There's never just plain Jane sailing, you know. Even at the moment, regardless of what happened, it was just half the fans supported the manager, half the fans weren't sure, some of the fans wanted in. It's all over the place. But it was just a big thank you for making me believe in miracles, you know? Because without you, Lord knows what would happen. Lord knows. And everybody was so gutted when you passed. When you we were all praying and hoping that nothing would happen. Nothing serious would happen. And it did. And it shocked the world. It shocked me. It shocked this community to its core. And there wasn't a dry, even people knew. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. But I wanted to say and put the message out there of we are internally grateful. We will remember you forever in this city. I don't know what they're going to do to remember you. Maybe a statue. Maybe something. But rest assured, this place will never, ever, ever forget what you've done for us. And we will be internally in your debt. Thank you all for listening. And please stick around to see some of my favourite memories and videos. Goodbye.